Hello, everybody. It is the Mountaineers Now postgame show brought to you by Country Roads Air Duct Cleaning. Take me home to comfort. I'm Schuyler Callihan. We're going solo on this postgame show as Chris is at the West Virginia baseball game here in Charlotte. So he's got you covered on that. West Virginia winners in game one there. Game two is just now getting underway. As far as the basketball game is concerned, they fall 71-64 to number 6 Iowa State on the road. And before I dive into my thoughts on this one, let's go ahead and take a look here at the numbers. West Virginia shot 27 of 46 on the day. Low field goal attempts, obviously, because of the turnover numbers there that you see at 23. That set a single game high for the season. They actually outshot Iowa State from the field, but those turnovers proved to be a major difference in this game. Kobe Johnson with 12 points, 3 boards, and 2 assists, while Jesse Edwards goes for 10 points and 8 rebounds. Tamin Lipsey, 14 points and 6 assists for the Cyclones. So, obviously, it was a great start for the Mountaineers. They couldn't have really scripted a better start. They get out to the 11-2 lead. Everything looks like, I wouldn't say great, but that's about as good as you could want coming out of that start, where you don't have the crowd as much into it. Seemed like Iowa State took them a little while to really figure out what was going on with that 2-3 zone. Once they figured it out, that momentum flipped like instantly. And I don't know what it was that they really found. I think they just moved the ball a little bit better. They weren't as stagnant, and they found the soft spot of the zone, getting the ball to the middle, kicking it out, and found some success there in the late portion of the first half. Second half, similar start. West Virginia gets out to, I believe, a 7-2 run. Iowa State kind of slows it down a little bit, but then they go on the 8-0 run. They take the lead 51-50. And halfway through the second half, you're thinking this team's got a chance. I mean, you really kind of want to get to that under 4 mark before you really start thinking an upset could happen. But it looked like it was just going to be one of those days where Iowa State was going to have to fight, scrap, and claw all the way to the finish line to be able to fight off the Mountaineers. And once they made that 8-0 run, timeout, Iowa State comes back out. They do their thing. They go on a 14-0 run because of the turnovers, ill-advised quick time shots early in the shot clock, and that pretty much put the dagger in. Now, I don't know what happened there at the end. They get the 3. It's all of a sudden a 7-point ball game. You would think that they would try to trap to force a turnover. And once they got the ball across midcourt, I don't know if there was a miscommunication between the bench and the 5 on the floor, or what was going on there. Why do you not foul? Once the ball is brought up across half court, you have to foul. It's a 3-possession game. It's not like it's completely out of hand. It's not really decided just yet. You send the guy to the line. If he makes 1 or 2, you're still in it. Even if especially if he misses both shots, you've got a chance to go down there and make it a 2-possession game. So I don't know what that was all about. I think Kirk Kriisa tried to foul at one point early on, but then they just settled. And then the shot attempt went up. Farrakhan gets bumped off his legs, and they run out the rest of the clock. So crazy last 5-6 minutes or so of the game for the Mountaineers. It just felt like once Iowa State got their footing after they lost the lead, it was all downhill from that point on, and West Virginia just could never recover. I'll say this. I give them credit for the fight that they put up. This is a really good team. I mean, this is one of the best teams, obviously in the Big 12, but also in the country. And I think is going to be somebody that could be a dark horse to go to a Final Four, especially in Elite Eight. This team is really good defensively, as you saw today, 23 turnovers. A lot of those were unforced, but some of those unforced turnovers were because of how fast they make you play. They speed you up. And that's kind of one of the things I highlighted in the game recap is when you go back to watch and you watch West Virginia's win over UCF, that was a completely different look offensively. That was West Virginia moving the ball and playing with a quicker pace. They had an emphasis on playing faster, but a smooth fast. They dictated the tempo in that one. This game, they were sped up. they did not want to play as fast as they were having to play in this game. They were getting double teamed. They were getting trapped in the half court. They're just really up in West Virginia's grill from the moment the ball tipped off. And that made West Virginia uncomfortable. They forced, again, some bad shots early in the shot clock, and they were just never really able to find a rhythm. And I don't know if it's something to do with just not being in the friendly confines of the Coliseum or what, but when this team gets on the road, those struggles, they go in double or triple in the amount of length when they go in these scoring droughts. They go a 2 or 3 minute scoring drought turns into a 5 or 6 minute scoring drought on the road. That's what happened today. That 6 minute scoring drought where Iowa State went on the 14-0 run, that killed the game right there. That cannot happen. The other part of it is defensively, I would say for the most part of the game, they played fairly well. But there's some spots where it just makes you scratch your head like, how is Milan Mamavilic, I guess I'll just try to pronounce it there, but he got open way too many times beyond the three. Luckily, he didn't connect on as many as he probably should have, but how he gets open, I mean, he's a knockdown shooter. You got to get a hand in his face. You got to contest those shots. And same thing with Taman Lipsy. I mean, you can't let this guy get open. And I think also transition defense, it's been a problem all year for West Virginia, especially when there's turnovers. But there's not the hustle. I haven't necessarily seen that, in recent games where the effort or the hustle wasn't there. Today, I kind of saw it on a handful of occasions where there was just some guys loafing, getting back. If you want to upset the number 6 team on the road, you got to play with full effort and get your butt back and stop the ball. So I think it's encouraging. I think that you see what they were able to do in the first 30 to 32 minutes of the game. The last 7 or 8 minutes of that game was about what we saw just about every other night. This team takes the floor again when it's not inside the WVU Coliseum. So tough way for them to finish, falling 71-64. They get back in action on Monday night at Kansas State. Another tough one. So we'll see how that one goes. But that's going to do it for us here today as West Virginia again falls 71-64. I'm Schuyler Callihan. Make sure you hit that subscribe button on YouTube at Mountaineers Now. Give us a like and a follow on X at the same handle. And also don't forget to check out the game recap of Game 2 of West Virginia and Charlotte, as Chris has got that coverage for you on the Baseball Diamond. So that'll do it for us, and we'll check back here with you Monday night for West Virginia and Kansas State.